really big Rolex.
Where is it again?
That day, Pilatus.
Our daughter kind of lost ours.
Right there.
It is. It's just
Kind of. Well, they've always been off fun. Yeah. Whenever I'm driving, I always can, you know? Yeah, because by the time we pack all the lenses, it's off. It's good.
but the lights on that bridge at night.
Hello, good morning ladies and gentlemen, welcome on board of the motor ship Stanzerhorn. My name is Bruno and I wish you a pleasure time on our 1 hour cruise on this beautiful lake. So we start the cruise on the end of the Bay of Lucerne. The river race will leave the lake here, divide the city in an old and new part. On the right side of the river is the old part of Lucerne. This goes back to the 13th century. Then the main bridge, a lot of traffic on there. Every day more than 80,000 cars and more than 5,000 buses cross this bridge. Behind the main bridge, the wooden chapel bridge with the water tower. This wooden bridge is also one of the oldest in the world, go back to the 12th century. The church behind the water tower is one of the biggest Baroque churches in Switzerland. It's called Jesuiten Church. Was built between 1666 to 1672. Then here one of the 5 paddle steamers running on the lake, the paddle steamer Yuri, is the oldest, was built in 1901. The youngest and biggest of them, it's called Stadt Luzern or City of Lucerne, was built 1928 and takes 1,200 passengers. The large dark building here on the right side with the big roof. This is the Kultur and Congress Center of Lucerne. It was finished built 1998. The architect was Jean Nouvel from Paris. The building cost 270 million Swiss francs, so it's one of the modern open house in Europe. Up to the next 15 September we have here every day classic music in this hall. So every evening 7 o'clock start these concerts. And the mountains on the right side here is the landmark of Lucerne, Mount Pilatus. We call also the Dragon Mountain. Mount Pilatus is 7,000 feet or 2,132 meters above sea level. From his backside, from the village Aldstadt, leads up the steepest cogwheel railway in the world, who was built between 1886 to 89. And this railway will have a distance of 6 miles with a maximum gradient of 48 degrees. From this side here, from the village Kriens, go an aerial cable car up, so you can do a nice round trip between the 2 peaks there. On the top of Mount Pilatus you can see the hotel with the aerial cable car station.
Very rugged looking stuff.
The nice park coming here on the right side. This is the public beach of Lucerne. We call Aufschütte. Aufschütte mean in English full up. Then this is not the natural park. This was full up with the sand and stones from the Sonnenberg tunnel, was built 1980. The swim season here in Lucerne start middle of May, is finish end of September. The water temperature is at the moment about 19 degrees Celsius, about 70 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yeah, you can see that. Yeah.
Nice to see you.
So here on the right side, sail harbor of Tripschen. There are about 400 boats. On the whole lake we have 2,500 sailboats and more than 8,000 motorboats. Jet ski is not allowed on this lake here.
You have to leave the jet ski.
No jet skiing. Bigger than what we're going to get to see. It was 2,500 miles.
There's a third floor of them over there, though.
Over there, sailboats, yeah.
The white building coming here on the right side between the trees, This is the Richard Wagner Museum. The German composer Richard Wagner lived here from April 1866 to April 1872. In this time he composed the Meistersinger, Siegfried Götterdämmerung, Beethoven Kaisermarsch and Siegfried Idyll. He married here his second wife Cosima von Bülow, the daughter from Franz Liszt. Franz Liszt was another famous opera composer from Austria. The city of Lucerne bought this house in 1933 and opened up the Richard Wagner Museum. The visitor can see manuscripts, old instruments and the life about Richard Wagner. Then here on the right side, the new living area of Lucerne, it's called Matthof. The most of these buildings are built the last 20 years. I would like to give you an idea about the prices here. Let's say to rent a flat with 2 bedrooms, a kitchen, a living room and a bathroom is about 1,200 up to 3,400 Swiss francs per month. This is about 30% of the income. In Switzerland, 65% of the population rent a flat or a home, other 35% have a own house. So when you look around you can see a lot of fishermen here. Today start the season for the pikes. So all these people go fishing for pikes here. Then in this lake here we have 26 different kind of fish. So the biggest is the pike. Then we have also lake trout, perch, red eyes, whitefish and many others. If you look a long time to the lake, maybe you can see a mermaid. Maybe you need 1 or 2 beers to see the mermaids.
doesn't look like it's like price is too much. There must be something. Otherwise, there isn't nothing wrong. Not sitting on the rest of it.
I don't think they would. Like, you already up most of the it's not going to make any difference.
Oh, that's, I don't know, just they'll stop smoking, they might be dried out. Like the wine. Only the boat can't get there.
The Rhine's got
Beautiful. I think eventually it will. The prices will fall from there.
Don't matter what is it?
Oh, no, it's dirty. Really dirty, yeah. You wouldn't want to even fall in there. It's got a wound or something.
Yeah, it's shot, man.
Well, there's even fresh water. And the only things that survive there is basically eels and probably carp now.
Yeah, they killed all the natural fish.
Very much. And there's asbestos floating around some of the mangrove areas. The people have dumped it there, and no one's cleared it up. After all the shit. And it's dirty. It's got a few rubbish cats inside every time it rains. Or what.
So here on the right side between the trees you can see a yellow building. This was the summer residence of the royal family from Belgium, King Leopold V, later on King Adam I. The family used to stay here every summer till 1935. In August 29, 1935, the family had a very bad car accident in Küsnacht. In this accident, the Queen Astrid lost her life there. After that, family came no more to Lucerne, so sold this house and is now a private one.
They're the same colour.
So here on the right side again Mount Pilatus, and the mountains here on the right side in the front is Mount Stanzerhorn, 6,500 feet above sea level. The first cable car in the world to go up to the Mount Stanzerhorn.
See the line.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you like to do a picture here with the captain hat, you are welcome. Just come here and you can do the pictures, there's no problem. So I want to give you some information about the lake itself. The right name of the lake here is Vierwaldstättersee. That's mean in English the Lake of the Four Forest States. The name of the states is Uri, Schwyz, Unterwalden and Lucerne. These four states are the first in the Federation of Switzerland back to 1291. The lake here is the fifth largest lake in Switzerland and covered the area of 66 square miles or 114 square kilometers. The longest distance is between Lucerne and Fürth, is 24 miles or 38 kilometers. The longest wait is here in this area, called Kreuztrichter. This is between the village Aldstadt on the right side here and the village Küsnacht here on the left side end of the lake. The wide is here 14.8 kilometers or 8 miles. The shoreline is 110 miles long. The deep in the lake, here in the Kreuztrichter, we have a deep of 500 feet or 150 meters. And then further on let's go down to 702 feet. These are 214 meters. The lake here is freshwater. They have drinking water quality. The most village around the lake take the drinking water from the lake. During winter time the lake is never freezing. Then the river race flowing in Luzern run through the whole lake in 3 years and leave this in Lucerne again. So the water is always in moving. Another reason is also the mountains around keep the cold north wind away, so the water cannot freeze. Then the mountains here on the right side in the front, this is Mount Burgenstock. On each top there are 4 and 5-star hotels located. An investment group from Qatar bought all these hotels for 750 million Swiss francs and rebuilt all these hotels new. A double room costs 950 Swiss francs per night. In this price is the breakfast included. In former time, famous people like the Queen Elizabeth from England, President Nixon, Jimmy Carter, also many movie stars like Charlie Chaplin, Sophia Loren, Richard Burton, Roger Moore, Clint Eastwood, Audrey Hepburn and many others spent that holiday. Also the James Bond movie Goldfinger was up there, and the big G8 meeting is also on the Mount Burgenstock. When you go from the hotels to the left side, coming to the highest point of Mount Burgenstock, there you can see a white building. This is a little restaurant. On the left side of the restaurant is the highest outdoor elevator in Europe. We call Hermitage. This elevator was built by the local company Schindler in 1905. The elevator is 165 meters or 550 feet high and have a speed of 10 feet in a second. The walk from the hotels to the elevator takes about 20-25 minutes one way. Then here on the bottom of Mount Burgenstock is the village Kersitten. Von there leads a funicular, was built 1888 the first time. This funicular is also new, so you can go here up there. From the other side from the hotels go a road up there, so you go also by the car.
Can you see that elevator?
Maybe on the, you can see on the end of the village with the big boat are there by Burgenstock, you can see a green building. Just on the side there where the big boat are, on the left side is a green building. This is the power station from the hotels. They have 2 turbines inside, so they bring all the water up there. At the same time makes the electricity for all these hotels. And the long mountains here on the right side in the front, this is Mount Rigi. We call also the Queen of the Mountains. 6,000 feet or 1,800 meters above sea level. On the end of the lake here is the village Witznau. From there leads the oldest concrete railway in Europe up to Rigi. This railway was built in 1871 by Niklaus Reichenbach. In the middle part of the 18th century, where the people start to climb up to the mountains, was Mount Rigi the first one. In this time was it not allowed to climb up to the Mount Pilatus because the people was too much afraid about the red dragon up there. So start the people to climb up to Mount Rigi. Queen Victoria from England was many times up there. In this time we have no aerial cable cars and no trains, so she go up by the back chairs. Further on the right side you can see the great castle New Habsburg. Then Ludwig from Habsburg from Austria let this build in the 13th century. A few years ago family Rosenberg from Touch bought this castle and renovated it for 15 million Swiss francs. This side here is the Gold Coast here on the lake. It's called Mecken. The Mecken have the lowest tax in the state, Lucerne. So you can see a lot of nice villas here. The villas here just up on the hill with the brown roof. They have a vineyard in the front, a swimming pool inside. The building cost 38 million Swiss francs. Another nice white building here on the right side here. This is my weekend house. Sounds good, huh? Yeah, it's a dream of mine to live there, but the owner is Heineken. You know Heineken beer? There is the owner of this house. Then on the right side we passed on a natural island on the lake here, the island Aldstadt. In the Middle Age was here a custom station on a transit route Lucerne-Gotthard. In this time, every boat to pass the island have to pay tax. Today is more easy, we pay the tax once a year. Further on the right side, two little rocks are standing in the water. One of them is a little shrine. Inside there is the wood statue of Saint Niklaus of Myra, patron of fisher and boatmen. Then up on the hill here you can see the beautiful old castle Schloss Meckenhorn. This castle goes back to the 16th century. The last owner was the German Baroness Emily von Heine. Emily von Heine used to stay here in the summertime. In the winter time she traveled a lot around, most time in Paris. One day she got very ill there and she promised and and she did well. She will give a gift to the people here. And this gift is a statue of Jesus Christ, we will see in a few minutes. The nice chapel we can see on the right side of the castle. The same one you can see in Paris. But in Paris is this a big church. Yeah. And here is just a little chapel. But the Baroness was very religious, so she said, built this chapel that we can go pray every morning in this chapel. She died 1913 here in Lucerne. The coast is now in a community of Meccan and can be rent for wedding parties, birthday parties and so on. It is very popular for the wedding parties from Champagne. Every year coming more than 800 couples from Champagne to get married in this castle there. So I go now closer to the shore to show you the statue. So here on the right side, standing on a cliff, blessing the lake and the people, the statue of Jesus Christ was donated by the Baroness. The statue itself is in soundstone, is 20 feet or 6 meters high and was sculpted 1903 from the local artist Joseph Vetter. Jesus will also show you how big fish we have here in the lake. large pink building here on the right side with the Swiss flag on its roof. This is the Hotel Hermitage, 4-star hotel. From there the people have a nice view to the city of Lucerne and sunset in one way, and a nice view to the mountains in the other way. Hotel Hermitage is also good for honeymoon. I was 3 times there. So we're coming back to the Bay of Lucerne. Here we have a speed limit of 6 miles or 10 km per hour. So here on the right side, one of the 5 yacht clubs we have in Lucerne. This one is the Yacht Club Seaburg, the oldest since 1913. So here on the right side, the second beach in Lucerne, the Lido. Behind the Lido is the campground and the mini golf. the right side, behind the trees, it's coming a few modern buildings in red and brown. This is the Swiss Transportation and Telecommunication Museum, we call Verkehrshaus. They have a big collection of old cars, trains, ships, airplanes, bicycles, motorbikes. The capsule Apollo 13 is also in this collection. Inside the museum is the planetarium, the IMAX cinema, museum for TV and telecommunication, Hans Erni Museum, and much more. To see the old museum, you need a full day, and it's the biggest, most frequented museum in Switzerland. And the hill here on the right side, this is the Rigi, we call also the little Rigi. On the top of the Rigi is an exclusive 18-hole golf course, only for members. And the large white building with the red roof and green tower up on the Rigi, this is the closest convent for women, Convent Kerlisberg. In former time, more than 100 nuns lived there. Today only 5 or 6 are left. The reason for that, all the sisters works in the hospital. The hospital was the big building here, where the blue crowns are, and this is now private. So the sisters have no more work, so they go away or died already. This large building here on the right side up on the hill with the Swiss flag on its roof. Behind the blue crowns there, that is the Hospital St. Anna. Now it's changed to the Hirslanden Clinic. So there's a big private clinic here in Lucerne. The Hotel Montana coming here on the right side up on a hill. It's a 4-star hotel, an Art Deco style hotel. Was built 1910. One of the biggest famous hotel management school in Switzerland is in the Hotel Montana. And the Hotel Palace coming here on the right side. There was a 5-star hotel, is sold now for 100 million Swiss francs to the investment group from China, and this will the next 2 years rebuilt. And the wooden building was standing in the water here, further on the right side. This is a public bath, 120 years old. In former time was it a bath only for women. Today is unisex, so everybody can go swimming there. Lucerne have also a grand casino with more than 100 slot machines and many game tables. But don't worry if you lose too much, so the lake is not so far. You can jump in the water.
There's so many new buildings going up that are empty. They just knock down the old ones because they're too old.
And the big church coming here on the right side.
They just
This is the Hof Church or the Church of St. Leodegar. St. Leodegar is the patron of the city of Lucerne.
Because we want to generate industry.
It's on the 2nd October.
So the government just builds all these.
This church was built the first time in the 14th century. Easter Sunday 1633, a big fire destroyed completely the old church. This was then rebuilt between 1638 to 52. The Hotel National, another 5-star hotel since 1817.
Oh, the floors are muted.
The palace is protected, so there can nothing change outside. There can only change inside the houses. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry, but we're coming slowly to the end of our cruise. I hope you enjoyed this and thank you for coming with Charles Brucher Excursion. Thank you. I wish you a very nice day, a happy day, and say goodbye. Thank you much. Bye bye, thank you, all the best.
We've sailed out of it, back into it.
Just on the right time, they start to raining when you leave the boat, so
Looks like a bench.
Oh, that's people going out on. It's not a paddle steam, is it? It's just a
That one is, yeah.
Is it a paddle
Steam
steam?
coming off the sea. Well, it's not steam, it's the mist coming off the boat.
Is there a paddle?
Yeah.
Okay. That's very cool.
It's thinking of paddle. See it going around there? You see it's paddle?
Oh, you're under the word, under
Yeah,
shimmer.
right.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It's smacking the water. That's what breaking
Okay.
that's breaking the water. London,
Yes.
first time round. That's a brand new. Good. Hey? Maybe you should stay with us. Nice and easy